Here she is, guys. Here is the update that a lot of you guys have been asking for. Before I start this, let me grab my jacket because it's kind of cold out here. For those of you who don't know how I do my POVs, if you can see me, yep, that's how I'm doing it. Car came back from the dealership. It's been parked pretty much ever since. I did take it out for the weather conditions that we've been having recently because I have winter tires on there, and yeah, I need to make it through the snow because all my vehicles are rear-wheel drive, so this is the best one I can bring out for the time being. I still own it, so I'm still gonna drive it, but I just don't drive it much. I don't want to mark the miles up and a whole bunch of other stuff, like it gets scratched or hit or somewhere or something damaged that will kind of like prolong the whole trade-in and blah blah blah. So guys, now that we got the update out the way, I want to speak to you guys about something. This is not specific to the S58 G80 people, but kind of what I'm gearing this towards. It will also loosely apply to the B58 guys, people who have M340s, Supras, and other BMWs like X3Ms and stuff like that, that are typically a 2021 or 2022 model that have the new DME in there. I'm sure you guys have been following the aftermarket and everything of these motors. These motors are insanely well built, forged components, very efficient turbo setups. You see what a lot of G80s and X3Ms have been doing with just some meth and a JB4, let alone a full tune. There are a couple clips of cars out there with full-fledged tunes, and the way that can be achieved is through Femto's DME cloning service. I'll explain a little bit and then I'll get into it. So what exactly happens is you pay a shop, or I mean, you can do it yourself. The everyday person might not even want to deal with the hassle, especially in a brand new car. You will need the responsibility of somebody else. So you'll pay a shop, I'd say about $100 to remove this thing right here. Underneath is the DME. I'm not exactly 100% sure that's where it was on a couple other G cars, so I assumed it's there underneath that. Never checked it, so correct me if I'm wrong. But pay $100 to remove that. First off, I'd probably remove it myself. It doesn't seem too hard. Shops probably shouldn't charge you $100, but no shop charge less than $100 to do anything these days. So yeah, pay about $100 for them to remove this, and then you ship it out to someone like Visconti or RK. They get it, and then they go ahead and ship it out to Femto. Femto does a read out in Russia. They do a read on the DME ECU, and they go ahead and send all that data that it gathered from the locked ECU to one of your tuner of choice, or someone who provides this service, and put all your car's information, parameters, and settings on a DME like mine that's pre-June 2020, so that you're able to fully tune your car. With EcuTech or boot mode or MHD, I'm not exactly sure what they have available, but yeah, service costs about $150. I'll put the price in case I'm a little bit off, and even then you still don't get a fully tuned BMW. You also have to purchase the license. EcuTech, I think it's maybe somewhere around, I think it's somewhere maybe around $500 or $600. Then you have to purchase the tuner's time, or time for them to tune the car. STI Micro, for what I remember, charging about $1,200 to tune this car. I want to say it's $600 and change, or maybe $700 for his actual tuning services, and $500 to $600 for the license. Not exactly sure, don't remember, but $1,200 and you'll get a tuned M340. Don't know if his prices went up, but I'm just saying that's how much I paid. Over $5 grand for something that normally would cost us $1,200 max is kinda insane. However, at that cost, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are considering just doing a piggyback tune, or a boost controller, as a lot of you guys call it. Back in the day, we just called it piggyback tunes, but yeah, boost controller like JB4. Use another module and attach it to certain sensors and manipulates the data. It says it'll tap into the T-map sensor that reads boost, and it'll just sandbag the numbers a little bit to trick the ECU to make it think it's not making as much boost, which the computer will in turn turn up the boost a little bit, and the car will compensate with fueling and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure there are tons of improvements to JB4. I have not used a JB4 since before boot mode came out. I've actually made the switch when it came out from JB4 to boot mode, so correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty sure they made a lot of changes in development, and I don't know what it is. At over $5,000 cost, is there really a point in tuning the car with just stock bolt-ons and no real modifications to it? I just go balls to the wall, full out. I do turbos, downpipes, intake, and everything, because, well, at the end of the day, you're paying that much for a tune, you might as well just go full send with the car. The whole idea of a simple downpipe and tune car would be out the window for me at that point. Downpipes, I think for the S58 will cost you somewhere around $800 to $900, and same for some freaking metal pipes. You might find some a little bit cheaper, less quality and less of a big name brand out there, but and if you ask me, metal pipe is metal pipe. Now, hybrid turbos for the S58 range around like $4 grand, give or take. If you want to run some form of port injection, whether it be meth or supplemental fuel. Meth, I can see coming somewhere sub $1,000 for all the controls and everything. And running fuel port injection, I'd say somewhere around the $2,000 range. So all in all, if you want to build a G80 how I think you should, you'll probably spend somewhere around $13,000. Not exactly sure what type of power numbers you will achieve. However, I'm pretty it's safe to say you'll be somewhere in the 800 horsepower range to the wheels without having to change your trans. Just a quick side note off topic, this is a ZF8HP 51, which is small frame, which is the ones in the G80s are the ZF8HP 76. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the same exact transmission that they run in the F90 M5s, and I'll be the first person to tell you that car can do 1,000 wheel without any hiccups in transmissions. However, these cars, once you start turning them up and adding parts out of, you'll clearly need a transmission, which will cost you ironically about 10 grand just for the transmission, and then you have to pay for install and service and other things like that. So I can already see how the G80 will be a better deal setup even with the insane tuning costs. However, I'm pretty sure many people who own this car realize how much of a bargain it is. For example, a pre-June 2020 setup was about $300 for the downpipe, $1,200 for the whole tune, about another $300 to $400 for an intake, and then you have a beast of a car. I have no fueling upgrades whatsoever. I do have a ethanol sensor. So for literally under $3,000, I'll put the link down below. For literally under $3,000, you could have over 500 horsepower to the wheel, over 600 pound-feet of torque to the tire, gabbing people like nobody's business. And this car costs half the cost of a G80. Now, if you would bought a 2021 or a 2022 M340, I think it's about $3,600 as opposed to, or $3,200. I'll put the information down below, as opposed to the $4,100 that you will pay for the G80. So it'll still be fairly cheaper. So cost would be about $6,000, $6,000 to $7,000. This car to the same full bolt on, and I'm including turbo as a bolt on because I mean it goes on with bolts. That's a different discussion. Now, the major elephant in the room is the trans, which will cost you 10 grand just for the trans, and I might be a little bit more, but 10 grand is like the big major number. Maybe you'll probably walk out spending 13 grand on this whole trans thing, which will cost you just as much as the tune of G80, and yeah, you get my point here. So I guess my question would be, how come everybody isn't doing it? A lot of people are not just jumping to a tune on these cars, even though it has been released. Now, number one, obviously cost is a huge issue, and I don't exactly know if this is true, but the way these cars would be tuned if you were to go with that tuning service, which will take your ECU out, they would just perform a read on it and write all of the other data to the new ECU, which in my opinion, I would assume if something were to happen, I had to look back, I ain't even know motherfucker behind me, sorry guys, back to the informative part of this video. But if something were to happen to your car, i.e. you blow a piston, a turbo goes, I don't know, you turn the turbo up too much, boost gets sent to the moon, pistons get sent to the moon, or whatever you want to call it, I would assume you could just drop your stock ECU back into the car, take it to the BMW dealership, and they would never know anything has happened because, well, on that ECU, nothing had actually technically ever happened. So that's just some food for thought. I've been doing some research, and I have not found anybody who has ran into an issue where they would need to swap it back and take it to the dealership, which does prove as a testament to the capabilities of these cars and how well they are built to handle a lot more power, because, well, none of them have blown up yet, to my knowledge. But also, second, maybe not a lot of people want to destroy their $80,000 or 90 plus however much $1,000 car cost. But guys, put down in the comment section if you guys have any knowledge on that. It just simply swap your DME back to the factory locked one, because that would seem to be one of the #1 most important things in tuning your car. I mean, if I was able to do, if I was femto and I was able to do something like that, which is read DME and swap over to a new thing, that would be like the #1 selling point, is that you could do whatever you want to your car, and if something goes wrong, you just plug it back into the factory DME and send it to the dealership. Now, we can question on whether or not that's morally right or morally wrong. You know what you did to your car. However, at the end of the day, hey, listen, people will be people, and that's a judgment call for yourself. Since we are on the topic of warranties, I got a couple questions about people asking me, is extended warranties worth it? Now, in my opinion, I would have always said no. However, I have been seeing some extended warranties cover certain parts on cars that have been modified. Cars go to indie shops with extended warranties, and the extended warranty company doesn't necessarily say, hey, listen, this is what blown up the car, it was the tune. They just say, hey, listen, this is what's wrong with the car. This is what's wrong with the car. Do you approve this bill to fix it? The extended warranty company actually sends a check over to replace or repair whatever was broken on the car. I've seen it actually happen a couple of times. Now, once again, that's a moral call for you. Do you think it's morally right, or do you not? Put it like this: majority of people will get it done. No one in these days wants to really assume responsibility for anything, so they just kind of pass the hot potato. So I can see that being a big thing. And if I am correct, if that serves me right, with the femto, hold on, sorry. With the femto DME read and extended warranty, stuff like that, I think they both are a great deal, a huge deal, because, well, you could just toss the hot potato to somebody else when something happens. Since people's morality will pop up in the comments. The first cars I ever financed in my life, which is a Nissan Altima, I got the extended warranty on that car. Realized that I actually did not, in fact, have an extended warranty on that car. They took my money, but I didn't have any paperwork. So I had no clue that I needed any paperwork or something specific, because the dealer never told me anything. So I went back to the dealership, and I got my money back because I kind of raised hell. That's Jones Junction, by the way. I don't really bash a lot of dealerships, but Jones Junction in Bel Air, man, they really screwed me over. They screwed my sister over too. They sold their car with an act. That's a whole nother thing. We're not even gonna talk about that. If any of you guys ever shop from Jones Junction in Bel Air, Maryland, then you know they ain't the best, okay? They pretty much morally ain't the best. But back to what I'm saying, we don't put turbos on our cars and stuff like that when intentions for them to break. So when they do break, it is it is pretty much an accident. I mean, you know the risk, just like you know the risk of doing donuts or something like that. You know, however, if you hit something, you're definitely gonna call your insurance. Now I would say deliberately doing something like turn up the boost because you know it's covered, or deliberately smashing your car into something, I do think that's underneath some type of fraud thing, or some type of like that. That's fucked up. That is completely fucked up. But modifying your car, putting parts in your car, not with intentions to not damage it, I don't know. I think that extended warranties should pretty much cover the car, but that's just me. However, we all know the dealer's not, so there you go. Read the fine print. Read the fine print. I've seen it happen, but read the fine print. So if you guys are considering getting extended warranties, make sure you read the fine print, do some reviews, see what they cover, see what they don't. Don't really intentionally intend to blow up your car, but if it just happens, hey, give it a shot. This may be the worst advice I've ever put on YouTube in my life. Because they don't really count on you using it. They just pretty much count on everybody piling up hundreds of thousands and millions and billions of dollars into this pool, and then they actually end up only paying out maybe like 2 million out of the 50 million that they got. It's kind of how these warranty things work, all insurance and stuff like that too. However, we need insurance, there's nothing we can do about it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I wanted to wrap this video up. Gotta get out of here anyway. Got some things I gotta do. Key is missing. I bet you it's not. But yeah, that's some things I have to do. That's the thing I have to do. I just really wanted to. Why the heck is he? Oh my God! He almost busted. I don't even know he was on camera. Almost busted his ass. But yeah, yeah, I just wanted to pull over and talk to you guys about that for a second. I got to do some running around, so I didn't want to go too far from my crib to there's just been some thoughts in my mind, man. I just wanted to get it out there as to why you guys aren't tuning them as fast. And so, oh, look at that, you got a G80 right there. Nice. That's what the small wheels might be a non-comp, maybe a man. No, it's a comp, it's automatic. Nice little thing. Yeah, but car felt like it was in second gear. It started in second this whole time. I got the stops. You got the stop sign, man. I know there's another G80 up here. I didn't even see that one, but I know there's one up here too. That the snow is like just falling off of as well. You can see the G80s of the cars. Well, actually, look, rear wheel drive didn't make it out. Rear wheel drive, they look smashed up already. Front wheel drive, clearly. Mustang rear wheel drive, don't even move that thing. But the G80 made it move. Look at this, all wheel drive. I think this is all wheel drive. They just didn't decide to drive it. Oh, the Ram van might be rear wheel. And ain't, oh, here we go. Nice G80 right here. Look at that. G80, another one, matte black with the whoo, nice. But yeah, G80s ain't making it out today. The G80s ain't making it out. You can see a lot of rear wheel drive cars have been stuck where they at. No, man. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. Is it just the money? And, you know, if it was cheaper, I'm pretty sure everybody would jump on it. Yeah, a lot of people say they don't feel comfortable with shipping their DME out. However, if it was cheaper, I'm pretty sure a lot of people wouldn't mind. They just bite the bullet and just do it anyway. So, yep. Whoop, speed camera, 31, I'm good. Well, 30, so I think I should be good, but I gotta run to Walgreens. There gotta be one over here somewhere. Is it this way or this way? I know there's a CVS on Bell, but there gotta be something. Oh yeah, I'll get back to you guys. I gotta find this freaking thing. Walgreens real quick. Or CVS. Oh shit, I think it's right here. Wait, what is that? Is that it? If that's it, I'll be hype. Back from Slow Speed. Peace out.